here talking wrestling stuff, and it's been a very, very busy past couple of days between the AEW versus NXT war that was building up from last week into Tuesday night, where the shows actually took place head-to-head from 8 till about 10:10 Eastern, with AEW going about 5 minutes past that. So there was a lot going on between all the build-up to the shows, with AEW announcing 30 minutes, which turns into 45 minutes of commercial-free stuff to be seen on the show. You had you had a pre-show made for an episode of Dynamite where Eddie Kingston defended the ROH World Title. You had Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson to determine the number one contender to Christian Cage's TNT title. You had Adam Copeland making his AEW in-ring debut. And on top of that, you had NXT throwing Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Asuka, Paul Heyman, and then, of course, at the end, where The Undertaker showed up, and LA Knight also in between, but when The Undertaker showed up, which also wasn't billed for the show, and that made for its own kind of spectacle itself. So both of these shows going to head-to-head kind of reminded you of what it used to be with wrestling, where there was competition consistently with WWE and WCW, but also most recently when NXT and AEW went head-to-head on Wednesday nights for a little while, but that hasn't happened in a couple of years now. So this brought out that kind of fun where everyone's trying to one-up each other, and I was like, you know what, give me more. Like, what else can we do for one show to try to top the other, to try to top the other? It made it for fun. It made some kind of drama out of it, and I thought it was hilarious. I mean, even with some of the stuff that Tony Khan was throwing out on Twitter/X, where he was quote tweeting something with Triple H and Shawn Michaels in it, and he posted a picture of that just said on a bald asshole when trying to promote Dynamite. Tony was also being very vocal to other people on there too, which you can go seek out. But it made it for a very entertaining build-up. And then, I mean, WWE's side was a little more quiet in what they said were promoting things, but with what appeared on the show, I mean, you had Cody Rhodes doing multiple segments where he was the guest GM for the night. You had John Cena doing 2 segments where he did an in-ring promo where Braun Breaker interrupted him, and then you had him back Carmelo Hayes for his match against Braun Breaker while Paul Heyman backed Braun Breaker. And then, of course, Undertaker coming out afterwards when Braun Breaker tried having a post-match attack on Carmelo Hayes, and all the hoopla that went around with that, which made for some pretty fun, surreal moments, because first, John Cena in NXT, in that ring, in that arena, I mean, you would have never thought that in a million years, because you've only ever seen him do these big arena, main roster shows, headlining pay-per-views, headlining WrestleManias, and now he's here inside the Performance Center arena, which maybe holds, a couple hundred people. Then you have, of course, The Undertaker. I mean, The Undertaker felt even more surreal than that, too, given the persona he's been built up as for his 30 years in WWE. And yeah, he came out as the biker American badass, which was pretty fun, too. But at the same time, that kind of blew my mind. That blew my mind. It really did, seeing Undertaker show up, and he got physical in the segment there. And granted, he's not coming out of retirement. It's been a couple of years since he wrestled his final match. But to have him there, to have him get on the microphone, to have him, I mean, put over guys while he's doing it too. I mean, the arm raise at the end with Carmelo Hayes, that made for a pretty cool moment. I mean, for everyone, I'm sure for him. It was a really special night of stuff they put on there, and it was a special night of stuff they put on in AEW. I mean, Copeland's match was fun. You had Christian Cage calling out Beth Phoenix, who's Copeland's wife, early on in the show, and that made for some really funny, kind of humorous stuff, because, I mean, Christian's on this game right now, and he even got a kick out of what he was doing during the show, too, when he even smirked a little bit after one of his initial comments about Beth. It made for some real, just made it light and fun. The Danielson versus Strickland match was great. And you had some other fun things along the way, too, along with Orange Cassidy winning the international title back, which, of course, Moxley was supposed to face Ray Phoenix earlier in the night, but Moxley did not get cleared because he's still dealing with concussion symptoms, I figure, from his match that happened at Grand Slam where he initially got injured. But That whole Dynamite show was fun. You had Toni Storm doing her thing, which got amplified to another level, it seemed like. And, I mean, even on NXT, where you had, I mean, funny enough, Jade Cargill showing up on there doing another handshake segment, this time with Shawn Michaels, while an episode of Dynamite was going on, because, I mean, Jade Cargill, of course, just came over from AEW, so there was that connection going on there. There was a lot that went on. There was a lot of fun stuff. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and to me, more please. I love all this. Granted, we're probably not going to get something like this anytime soon, because I'm going to figure that NXT is going to beat AEW in the ratings pretty handedly, if I had to guess. Could be wrong, because Tony Khan did do a lot of promotional work at the very last second on Monday and into Tuesday. So maybe it could help out in the end, but I still think NXT is going to get that bigger viewership. Just the fact that it's the WWE brand behind them, and the fact that NXT has just been doing better overall for the most part. But this could maybe be a handedly decisive win, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, but I mean, this was so much fun. I mean, the fans won out of all this, and yeah, maybe in the ratings wise, NXT or Dynamite, one or the other might top each other, but for us, we won. This was the fans' night. We got so much great stuff out of it. And these days, you can double screen, whether it's putting it on your cable network or and putting the other show on your iPad or your desktop computer, whatever, or laptop. It's what I did yesterday. And you know what? You enjoy all of it. It's a lot of fun. And you see people who care. You see everyone cares about putting on great shows. You see the effort that's put into this, like I said, with everyone trying to one-up each other. I thought it was great. I really thought it was entertaining. And even without these shows going head-to-head against each other, which none of them really do anymore because they're all on different days because they all want to try to get their own success. But it just made for fun, and I just hope it just keeps going like this, where these shows just try. I mean, we're not going to have, granted, of course, all these main roster stars on NXT every week, or very sporadically, I guess, because you still have Becky Lynch as the NXT Women's Champion, but just stuff like this where you see that the effort's being put in and people care, and you know what, that's also helped making this one of the hottest times in wrestling, maybe since the Attitude Era, or maybe the very early part of the Ruthless Aggression Era. It's fun, people care, and I hope that this momentum keeps up because it's great for the business, it's great for us, and let's see what happens next. So that will do it for this edition of Wrestling Stuff. My name is Rob. You can follow all my stuff down below. It's got all the links there. You can hit the subscribe button too. And yeah, so we'll be back soon. So thanks for tuning in.